do a run, an any percent run. Now, this game starts out with a long cutscene. Cutscene's really cool though. This is another game that you should get. Actually, I wish we had a Switch, because this game is on the Switch. Coming to the Switch in 5 days, rather. Main goal of any percent is collecting flowers and getting to the end of levels. In that way, it's very similar to Lumi, in which the objective was to collect silvers and get to the end of levels. However, it's also pretty different in that instead of a double jump, you could just make your own platforms. Also, there's a lot of faster things that you can do in some of these levels, just individually, but they're not faster for the whole game because they skip flowers sometimes. But there's some precise stuff. And there's a couple of pretty big sequence breaks that we do in levels. Pretty big considering that each level is max 100 seconds long in the speedrun. Anyway, this is one of them. I used a pixel jump on that ledge to just get up there without doing the puzzle in that room. And it saves about 10 to 15 seconds, I think. Over the intended way. There's another thing that saves a bit less time. 115 in that level is really good. Anyways, now on to 1-3. 1-3 introduces the shooters, or the lasers, as they're technically called. They're really like laser balls. Basically, when they hit you, they do damage. Pretty standard for a platformer. You get hit, you take damage. There's some bulbs that I don't have to break in this level, just because they don't actually ever have flowers in them. Some of these bulbs sometimes have flowers, some of them never do, some always do. And it's the sometimes ones that you gotta watch out for. Now 75 is a healthy flower count going into this level. This next thing I'm about to do is another minor sequence break. These 5 bulbs have flowers in them, and none of the others do. So I just go straight through that platform, because I'm fast. This also has a minor sequence break. No, it has a pretty major sequence break, really, when you think about it. That was it. Normally you'd have to go over to the left side there, but with a precise jump that we call a pixel jump, we just avoid that entirely. Unfortunately, that's the last pixel jump routed into the game, pretty much. There's some others in different categories, but don't care about those. Okay, so I've only got the top one. That's a good RNG. Makes this a lot easier. I just accidentally double tapped the platform button. I am unnecessarily high here. Where I was high enough. Anyways. I need 9 flowers here, and that's absolutely the easiest thing in the world to get. I'm going to skip a ton of bulbs in this level. That I would normally otherwise get. And I've already got 10, so you can see, pretty fast. And now I'm done with World 1, pretty much. Just have to do this little level. I'll skip there. 14.1 is the best time I've ever gotten on this, and I think it's the best possible. But I could be wrong. Missed that right there. Also missed the floor right there. It's very important here that I don't touch any non-breakable platforms, so I can just do that. And then respawn right there next to that. It saves time by making you not have to fall. Because the falling is a lot slower. That was very dangerous because I'm at 1 heart right now. And I really don't want to die at 1 heart. That was 21 flowers, which is good. Luckily, the start of each level refills my hearts. This is the laggiest part of the game so far just because there's so many enemies. Yes. If you look after I complete each level, then you'll see how many flowers I need to beat the world. Also, this is really bad for my hearts, because there's a damage boost that I want to do, and I might not be able to. I mean, anyways... That's a completely different route than I normally take through that, but I wanted to be very safe. Because now I can do the damage boost. And I very nearly just lost my iframes. That would have been horrific. I always get that extra one. The more flowers you have in this world, the better. You can see I need 170 flowers for that world. And I have 51 so far. I don't ever need to break that bulb because I never go to that side of this this is a pretty big sequence break right there, where I just skip a puzzle. And also there. Skip a large part of a puzzle. It keeps falling off screen, so... Oh no, King of Skips is Chris. Chris does the most skips. You should follow Chris. I'll send you a link to his channel. He is the other person in my Discord. The only one whose stream you have not seen. And that's just great. Gonna die. Refill health. Yeah, that's the thing. It's probably like 10 seconds both ways. Just because it has to come into me and then it has to go back out to you. And also because you're not a mod in my channel, your messages have an additional 2-second delay, so that if you say something that they don't like, you get banned. This is a fun level. You never need to break those, except when you're playing an entirely different category than I'm playing right now. Because we never go inside of that box. That is that level. Okay, there I need 170 minus 115 is 55 more flowers. It's very important that I keep track of that. Especially in this world. This, as I've said, is the hardest flower routing of any world. There's just not a lot of in-the-way flowers, or rather there are a lot of skips that take you out of the way of flowers. Now I want to get those 3 flowers, then get those, then go there. Now I've got 27 more. I have missed 3 when I could have missed 35 total, which means I can miss 32 total for the rest of the world, which means I should have 148-ish. No, 142. I'm supposed to get those. Probably not. Sometimes there randomly appears to be more viewers than there are. And even when there is, standard protocol means that you don't call out people who are lurking in the chat. Although if people are lurking, hello, welcome. Glad you're here. Oh, I actually missed it. Haven't missed that strat in a while, but bound to happen, isn't it? Yeah, I've got plenty. Then I jump over that. Oh no, don't worry. Like, it's not as much of a thing about like calling out general lurkers as it is about calling out lurkers by name, which is the big no-no. Anyways. This is a level that I've just recently done quickly. I do that strat there because it's safer. I need 4 more flowers for the rest of this level. And flowers aren't easy to come by in this level. Mostly because skips are. Okay, luckily I've got 10 already, so I'll be good. In fact, I would have preferred not to get that flower, because every flower you get after the number that you need does lose a bit of time on the end screen. You see? That probably lost a small amount of time. Now I've got lasers. That was a fairly good time for World 2. Now is world 3. That's a pretty big skip. Well, not huge, but skips a large portion of like the right side of that level, or the left side. I just okay. Didn't fall too far. Now this world I also need 190 flowers. But there's also one more level in this world than there is in the previous. This is a minor sequence break to skip a puzzle. Just land on the edge of that platform. This is the most lenient of all of the pixel jumps in the game. I want to go to 3 next. Generally, it's fastest in any percent to go to all the levels in order, whereas in some other categories it's different. This is the one I was practicing earlier with bucket skip. That's the riskiest I've ever taken that part of it. Okay, there we go. This is a very cycle dependent level. I can't actually make the earlier cycle of those platforms. There's a way to skip like a quarter of a cycle in this room. Doesn't really do much, especially in any percent when we need to get some more stuff than we do in other categories. Or less stuff. Well, actually more stuff in the specific case that I'm referencing. Very minor sequence break here. You're not supposed to do that. That's not the intended solution of the puzzle. That's also not what you're supposed to do, though, so that makes up for it. I want to switch back in this room as soon as possible. Even more minor sequence break here. dying. Skips me being good. This is the intended solution. Also, I'm an absolute idiot. I just can't get this level correct. Hmm. This isn't great. This run wasn't the greatest to begin with, but still not great now, which is sad. This is one of the cooler levels of the run, because you get 50 platformers, and you get to boost jump a lot. Also, there's a lot more flowers at the bottom of the level that I don't get because I think they're too slow, personally, for this world. This world has a lot of pretty fast flowers. This level right here is pretty cool. Got a neat little skip that I'm going to try because the run is bad anyways. Okay, no. Gonna go through it normally then. Intended strats. Okay, that failed. That's one of the cooler strats in the run, just from a look perspective. Okay. Now we go to 3-7, which has some cool sequence breaks in other categories, but also a cool one here. So that's pretty neat, I think. That was a recent discovery from Chris. Chris is a big strat hunter in this game. He's the one with the any percent world record. This is a fun one that I found on my casual playthrough, but also was known about before that. And this is the fastest way to do it. Okay. Tried that, but this is easier anyways. Okay. Now, let's see. Flower-wise, what do I need? I think magic number here is still pretty low, relatively speaking. It's not high, that is. Don't need to go too out of the way here. Going to get that flower and heart. Okay. What do I need here? 25. 25 is easy in this level. This level has a lot of flowers. And that is the reason why I skip those bottom flowers. Okay. There was a faster way to get through that. Also, I'm bad at this game and this level. Let's see if we can do Chris's strat here, because Chris has a cool strat here. I did it! That's the first time I've ever done that, actually. That's a minor sequence break. Now I'm sitting pretty at 20 in terms of my current flower count. 22. I am going to need more of these than I wanted to get, but I will get them all because I have to. Okay. Exactly enough. Exactly 190 flowers in that world. That was close. Really close to dying. Okay. So that is the shortest, I believe, of the power-up stages. No, the second shortest. I believe the power-up stage in this level is the shortest. Now you can see that I'm going to hesitate a bit in this level, more than I would otherwise. And that hit is actually okay to take. I'd much rather not, but it's okay. Going back for those because if I had missed the cycle, I had missed it already. Yeah, I had already missed the cycle there. So I'm just gonna death warp out of there. Play it safe with this level. And you can see I was still waiting there. So I didn't really lose any time with that death. Did lose 16 seconds before it though. World 4 is the world with the most flowers. So I really don't have to worry about anything regarding them. It doesn't literally have the most flowers, but it has the most in the way for the speedrun. In large part thanks to the drill. Drill makes a lot of out of the way bulbs in the way. I don't know if that got it. That got it. Okay. Okay. None of those platforms are deemed safe if you run into the lasers, just because you could accidentally, if they were safe, fall into a laser now and then just be entirely out of luck. I'm gonna try that strat. It didn't go well in practice, and it didn't go well there. So we'll go in the normal strat that we take there. This is the other level you saw me practicing a lot. And you can see I've already got way more flowers than I'm going to need for a while. So, of course, I didn't get the swag strat when my sister was watching. Level has a lot of very swaggy strats, including that one. And to about the same extent, this one. If I had gotten it. I'm not doing the strat that there is in this room because this is an any percent run, and I need some flowers in this room that are easy to get. Okay. Ending went better than I expected. That's a level in which I usually take a death, so anytime I don't is appreciated. 4-4 is the fastest level in World 4. You're going quickly enough through this level that you barely have time to collect any flowers. Okay. Nice way to be an idiot there. Very nearly died there, but again, quick level. I only need 80 more flowers, and I have 4 more levels. One reason that level is so quick is because there are so many flowers in this world. This level has the most infamous trick in the run, box skip. There's a lot of boxes in this level, but only one of them that we really skip a lot of. Also has a really nice squish warp, I call it. And actually, I'm not going to do box skip because it is the trick with which I am the least consistent. I got it exactly once ever. And that was when I was specifically practicing that trick for a long time. Instead, I'm going to take this laser warp, which is a much easier trick, just in general. I just go right there. There we go. And now 4-6. I want to go to 4-7 and 4-8 in that order. This is a level that can go really well or really poorly, and it's going pretty poorly right now. Here we go. Okay. That's the fastest and coolest way through that level. Don't want to take that hit ever. Doesn't really matter when I'm missing flowers here because, again, very lenient flowers in this world. That was bad. That was a really bad death to take. Hmm. Wow. I'm dumb and also an idiot. I didn't get a stuck slinky. Stuck slinky is swag. And I wanted swag in this level if it's going to be so bad. Lost about a minute on what I wanted to do in that level. There's one good thing about this. It's still on easy PB pace. A very quick level. Another big candidate for quickest level in this world. What did that say? I need 20 something. Or no, I don't need 20 something. But it would be nice to have. It's like 17-ish that I need. So I just entirely lost track of my platform button. I like literally forgot where it was. Fine. I just do that for safety. Okay. That's actually pretty much perfect. Also, 30 flowers in that level is really easy to get. So now it's time for this power-up stage, in which I will get infinite platforms. Psych! I will not get infinite platforms. I will be knocked off, and then go into that exit. 5-1. It's certainly a level. This is the tightest world since 2. Sometimes it can feel even tighter at the end of a run. Okay, let's try this strat again. Nope. Normal strats. Little laser warp to get back there a bit quicker. Barely made that cycle. That's also not great. Luckily, the auto-scroller continues even when I leave it. Great thing about this game. Very slightly faster to go around there in both cases. Okay. Okay. That is definitely a number of flowers. This world, I think you need 105. 105. And I have about half of that right now. Which is actually, you'd think on pace or ahead of it, but I'd like to have a bit more because of the sheer number of skips that I'm going to be doing later. Lag ate my jump there, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. That's another level where you can get 30 easily. Now I want a good number here, actually. But this is dependent on RNG. And that was bad RNG to start things off. That was quite possibly characterizable as even worse. Okay. These go just slightly slower than you can run, which is so infuriating. And I'm only getting 8 flowers in this level, which is bad. I'm gonna need to get more flowers than usual in the next level. Specifically, I'm going to need 18. And I have a good route that gets about 18. Which is why I'm so thankful I made so many routes through this level. So I'm at 9 already. Normally, I would be at 0 right now. And I just need one more flower for the rest of the level. And I actually don't want to get another now. Although one doesn't lose almost any time. Technically getting any extra doesn't really lose much time at all. Okay. Now, should we get this? Oh, we can't. Should we get this? Oh, we can't. Oh, my. That's happening. Happing. Quick note about this little cutscene. I can hold right during it and move to the right, which is helpful when I get back. I also want to be mashing my platform button V at this point, just to make a platform as quickly as possible. Also at this point, I want to switch to that platform, because if I don't, I will be on the basic platform when I enter the next world. 5702 is good. From the rest of the run, it's going to be a bunch of boost jumping. I do have infinite platforms. You're going to be seeing a lot of boost jumping, which is what this really fast platform making and jumping is. A 34 flat might be the record for that, but I don't think it is. Okay. I just want to get through this level. This is pretty damage heavy level. I let my drill push that as much as I can, and then I always miss it. Damage boosted through that, which was probably a bad idea because that is incredibly unsafe. But anyways, just like normal 1-3, we often finish that level with just 1 heart. I'm not going to do the old strat here because the old strat is old for a reason. It's slow. Old strat was to laser warp down, but slow. About a second slower. And you lose an extra heart that you really want for the rest of the level. Slower and less safe. Yes, yes indeed. Also, I just didn't press the correct buttons in the correct order. So now I'm back in this level, and that loses about 15 seconds because now I have to... That loses another maybe 5 to 10 seconds. Because now I have to return to the world map. And that's just really unfortunate. This level, well, this whole world is a remake of the previous worlds, in case you didn't catch that. Okay, can I make the fastest cycle? Yes, I can! That's a really tricky cycle skip. You have to be near perfect with that, and it's pretty risky. Somehow the mimic bulb was saved there. The way I'm getting to the next world is by using the next platform button. Similarly, you can use the previous platform button to go to the previous world. Don't ever have to go to the previous world in this run. I say this run instead of this game for a good reason. I switched platforms for that one platform there because it's slightly faster and safer. But mostly safer. Not too much faster. Oh my. Dying is almost never faster. Almost. Again, gonna switch platforms for the one platform. That was a slow hit to take. Especially because it made me die. That's the most difficult movement in the game right there, between those two levels. You'd think it's easy, but it isn't. Also, I always go the wrong way at the start of this level. You have to have that thing lead you by a pretty large amount to be safe. This is the trickiest part of the run because you have to slow down a bit or else you will get hit by the laser. Right there. This is looking like a 108, which is good because world record is 104 and PB is like a 115, 116. Needless to say, I haven't run this category in a while. Because I've gotten a lot of pretty good PBs between my last PB and this current run in different categories. Like I got a sub 150 in all collectibles, which was pretty huge. After X44, which is the fastest of the X levels, and also my favorite of the X levels, because I get to boost jump like this the entire time for the first half of the level. And then, if I can do this last part well enough, I can get pretty darn close to the record. 2 seconds, I believe. Is going to be... Oh. I made it a couple cycles slower and then I got hit at the end, so... Pretty standard time. World X5 is already done. So now... IGT. And yeah, this is looking like... mid to high 108. Gonna spawn on the right side. And it moves to the left. This is its next attack. So far, this has been a scripted fight. We'll always do the same first 2 attacks. From the, I think first 3 even. Maybe even the first 4 are all the same. I don't know. But these patterns are pretty predictable. And from this point on, I think it's RNG. Deaths in this fight aren't really an issue at all. We're also in phase 2 right now. Also, what the heck? Can you make a clip of that? Do you know how to make clips, Jackie? Make a clip of that if you know how. If you don't, there's a button. If you click the screen. Clip. There's like a movie fiend thing button on the screen. This might be its last attack of the phase. Definitely one of the last 2 at the very least. Yeah, this is the last attack of its phase. And so I'm going to take an intentional death to refill my health. The first 7 arrows here will intentionally miss me, and from then on I actually have to dodge. Also, that was phase 3. It's invincible for the entirety of phase 3, and now is phase 4 time. Of what just happened, because that seems like a pretty crazy thing that just happened. If you remember what it was. Okay, this is if I don't die. But there we go, 108.52. Of that weird thing that happened in the middle of the fight, because that couldn't have just happened on my end. Okay, so that's the run, that's a PB. Okay, oh yeah. Of course, don't worry about it. Like, I'll be able to find it later and such. This is a PB, it will be in the video, so... That's just a really weird thing. I was like, where is it taking me? And then all of a sudden everything went crazy. Don't worry about it. I'll find it. Specifically, it was the part where I died, and then the screen went a bit crazy. But, like, absolutely don't worry about it. Also, I have been mentioned in Discord, so I'm gonna check on that real quick. Okay. Oh, skip credits. Also, yeah,